First of all, I thank the organizer for giving me this opportunity and also the preference being non-Muslim. My name is YB Taide. I'm from Maharashtra. I have been referred as non-Muslim, but that is not my fault because I was not born in a Muslim family. But in no way I consider unbeliever or kafir. My question is, I'm in the process of understanding Islam, and as you said in your lecture, trying to acquire a spectacle. I'm in search of that spectacle, Islamic spectacle. In the process, being a human being with limited intellect, I often have some questions and doubts. While reading the English edition of Quran and while listening to a lecture, I came across so many references to slavery. Then some of the readings by some North Indian Muslims, one reading I had by Bahishte Jeva, they have casted some references towards the low caste people. Like, in marriage proposal, one should not accept a high caste Muslim, should not accept a girl from low caste like Hajjam, a barber, or a weaver like that. So, does Islam sanction slavery and the casteism and untouchability? This is my question, sir. Thank you.
Now you're talking about the barber daughter from the Quran?
No, one book, Bahishte Jevar. Bahishte Jevar, I read, I don't remember the name of the author.
Okay. Regarding the issue of slavery, it is something that is for the best of humankind. Why is that? Slavery in Islam could only result through prisoners of war, and that is it. If I have a family who is so poor they cannot feed themselves, and I'm approached by the father telling me, listen, buy my daughter or buy my son for $100 or $1,000, this is forbidden. It's not accepted in Islam, none whatsoever. But in Islam, if you read the Quran, if you read the Hadith, slavery is there. But it is within a very limited channel, in the sense that 100 years ago, you had slavery all over the world. You had slavery in Europe, you had slavery in the USA, you had slavery, and you still have slavery in certain places, but due to injustice. In Islam, you can have slavery only through the results of war. When we have prisoners, we either execute them or we treat them as slaves. This is really hard. This is terrible. How can you enslave a free person? Well, this free person was about to kill me. This free person was about to attack my religion, and if he would have captured me, he would have enslaved me. And look at Guantanamo Bay. It's even worse than slavery. In Islam, if you look at the rights of slaves, the Prophet says, it is not a believer if your slave does not eat from the same food you're eating, and does not wear from the same dress or the same clothes you're wearing. You're not allowed to spank him, beat him. You're not allowed to slander him or curse his face. What kind of slave is this? We do this with our children and with our wives, some may say. You're a slave, you're not allowed to do this. The Prophet ﷺ once saw a man hitting his slave because he misbehaved. The Prophet told him, beware, Allah is more capable on you than you on your slave. The companion looked at the Prophet and said, Prophet of Allah, he's free for the sake of Allah. What did the Prophet say? If you did not free him, Allah would have put you in fire. He's my slave, I bought him. I can beat my animal, I can beat my dog. You cannot do this with your slave. And if you look at the things that is an expiation in Islam, if you do something, it's a sin, you want to expiate for it, you want to pay kafara, everything on the top of it, free a slave. So if I say, by Allah, I'm not going to eat lunch at your house today, as if you've invited me. I know you did not, but let's assume. This is, I'm swearing now, I'm giving an oath that I will not, by Allah. Now, you're making a lot of biryani and nice food and it's tempting. I want to eat. Allah tells me you have to expiate and go and eat. So what should I do as expiation? Allah says, free a slave. If I'm driving and I kill someone by mistake, this is a sin. It's mistake. I wasn't, it's not mine. He threw himself in front of my car. I killed him. You have to have expiation. What should I do? Free a slave. If I did something wrong in Ramadan, I had intercourse with my wife during the fasting period of time, free a slave. If I tell my wife, by Allah, you are like my mother, I will not have any relationship with you, free a slave. So many things Islam tells you, free a slave. And at the end, Islam tells you, whoever frees a slave, sets him free for Allah, Allah will free with each organ of that slave an organ from you from hellfire. So if he has 2 hands, Allah will free my 2 hands. If he had 2 legs, Allah will free my 2 legs. If I free him entirely, Allah the Almighty. So slavery, though it does not exist nowadays, but brother, believe me, it is for the best of humankind. Wallahu alam.
I hope that satisfies your question. To the gentleman